Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to round 15 of our F1 2002 career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the US Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live last week from Suzuka, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Just 2 rounds left of the 2002 season and I'll be honest, we need a bit of a miracle. Heinz-Harald Frentzen now has a 34-point lead at the top of the table, so even if we win the race this weekend, he just needs to finish P2 behind us, and he will walk away as our 5th world champion in 5 seasons inside this series. Obviously, last season, we had a bit of a crazy end to the campaign. We were able to claw back against Jacques Villeneuve and win the championship by just a single point, but Williams seem like they're desperate to learn from their mistakes from last year's campaign and desperately want to try and bring this one across the line. Of course, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We are trying to hit 140,000 subs at the moment as well. We can just do what we can do this weekend. If we head to Brazil, still with a shot at the crown, I will be very, very happy indeed. If you want to help support us as well, just a little bit more, consider hitting that join button for just £1 a month. You get early access to all the videos and a few other little bits and pieces. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head here to Texas. Well, here we are then, ready at the Circuit of the Americas, and qualifying going to be very, very important today, but there is the chance for some changeable conditions as we head into the race tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see as to what happens with that then. But yeah, this circuit really does test all aspects of a Formula 1 machine, so hopefully we can try and get a good lap time on the board as well. Into the S's we go. I mean, you're just trying to send it through, keep the car between the curbing. And already you can see Frentzen, Villeneuve and our teammate Michael Schumacher all battling up the front of the order. They're really trying to tap the curbing off the exit over the top of the hill. Of course, we can use the curbs back in 2002, so that's exactly what I intend to do as much as we possibly can. There is rain potentially heading towards the circuit, towards the end of the Grand Prix. So that'll make things very, very different and difficult with how we kind of judge strategy ready for tomorrow afternoon. But of course, yeah, the big thing first and foremost, of course, is that Villeneuve, for my sake, needs to go quicker than Frentzen here. We aren't too far away, but we're definitely not quite getting the lap time that I would have wanted there. We're struggling a little bit through some of the more high downforce sections of this lap. We're still kind of in and amongst that top 5 there as Frentzen finding some confidence through the Turkey S section towards the end of the lap. Penultimate corner there again, just a little bit wide on the way through. One more corner to go then. We are definitely going to have an advantage through that final sector. Up towards the line though, P3 on the grid again. That didn't work out that great for us last weekend though. Well, there we are then. Frentzen will claim pole position there, just 0.02 of a second faster than his teammate. We line up P3 just ahead of Michael Schumacher there, only half a tenth between myself and the German. A big gap back then to DC there, just ahead of Jenson Button and Anthony Davidson there. So there's a lot of great British drivers in the sport right now. But yeah, we need to basically invert the positions with Heinz-Harald Frentzen in this Grand Prix. So let's just pray for a miracle. Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the US Grand Prix. 2 races to go with a campaign, But luckily for us, it does look like that rain is predicted towards the end of the afternoon. So, obviously, this is F1 2020, so you still actually have to start the Grand Prix on your qualifying tyre, which will make our life just a little bit more difficult. But hopefully, we're going to be able to stretch that set of the softs. You know, if that wet period does arrive, then we can try and make it work as well then. But waiting on the grid then, 5 red lights for the US Grand Prix. On the day Frentzen could become champ, it is going to be lights out, and away we go there as immediately Schumacher and Jensen Button will get past us up the hill in towards turn 1 there, but we will immediately try and go back around the outside of everybody we possibly can. There we go, hanging on to P4 then off the start. It's a little bit wide through turn 2, but we had to send that. We had to try and make sure that we're not going to spend our early laps fighting with some of the slower cars here. We cannot afford to let those Williams get away, as Frentzen already just pulling away a little bit from his teammate Zach Villeneuve. I really don't know whether Villeneuve today will just play the team game to help his teammate out, because of course, like I said, Frentzen only needs to finish second to me here, and the gap would be 27 points heading into the finale at Interlagos. Of course, anything can happen in Brazil, and it normally does. And every single season so far in this game, it has hosted a World Championship decider, if I remember correctly. Will we get another one this time round? Will we see our 5th different World Champion in the 5 seasons we've been doing this series so far? Only time will tell there. It's just trying to roll the car through those first few corners. Let's have a look on the weather update.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Well, that's not reassuring then. Mark at the moment, or Jeff even I should say, does not see any rain on the radar. Whoa, Michael Schumacher there, a little bit of a wobble down at the hairpin. I was just about to start talking about the fact that it seems like we're pretty evenly paced with Williams today. But yeah, Michael definitely just struggling a little bit here in the early laps, as we've seen so many times before inside this series. We cannot afford to have an accident though with our teammate. We need to just try and get around him as sensibly as possible, and this is something Ferrari have not done enough of this year. They need to kind of call the shots, because it could have really helped us out in the bigger picture. I understand early on in the season not doing it, but since then it has really been a necessity. Well, we talk about Ferrari potentially needing to kind of call the number 1 and number 2 driver roles here. Let's be fair, Michael Schumacher, if he was in this situation at the moment, what do you guys think? Would he actually let me buy in a Grand Prix? I certainly don't think he would anyway, so yeah, it might be completely irrelevant for Ferrari to be trying to, you know, kind of call this between their 2 drivers too early on. Lap times, though, we are very similar to Frentzen when I'm not stuck right under Michael's diffuser, so he's definitely costing us time. Oh, I'm really having to start trying to throw different lines at it, just to see if we can throw Michael Schumacher off or find any more time against him. You can see into the slower speed stuff just how much we gain under braking there, so we've definitely got some confidence in this car today, and that's something that we haven't been able to say every weekend so far this year. It is this final sector though where hopefully we can try and make an impact against the German there, just trying to get a little bit closer. You can see how willing we are just to kind of throw the car in. You know, we have got the confidence that it'll stick on the exit. It's all down the inside. That was never going to work. Contact between the pair of us there, and that was more me just trying to see if I could throw Michael off ever so slightly. Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a day late and $1 short on that one, but we had to try something. So we are just, I mean, it's how bad the dirty air is as well in this car. You really, really notice it on the exits of corners. Are we close enough this time to potentially have a look for something? We've got to try and go for it to the inside of Michael Schumacher. Oh, we just might get it slowed down there, but we're going to be drag racing off the corner. And our teammate there able to put the power down a whole lot earlier than I was able to. Again, though, we will have the slipstream down in towards the next braking zone, where again Schumacher has struggled with confidence, but again we just try and send it in a little bit too aggressively there, and cannot quite make it happen. This was the joy of obviously these lightweight Formula 1 cars though, was you could afford to really try and fling it in a third time. We will go for it there, and it's still not happening for us. Michael Schumacher there, able to read us like a book through the entirety of that section. Really, really frustrating. I'm just getting more and more fed up at this stage of the Grand Prix as Frentzen just stretching his legs at the front of the order. I know I can match his pace. I know I can, but we're just not getting an opportunity. Oh, Michael Schumacher there just had another bit of a wobble as we try and thread our way through this final sector of the lap. Can we just try and get it parked this time on the inside? Yes, it will! And there's contact between us, and I think Michael Schumacher, he's out of the Grand Prix. I mean, we were down the inside. He knew we were trying to go for it there. But Michael Schumacher out of the race. And Ferrari tempers flaring to the extreme. Okay, so team definitely do believe we are going to get rain before the end of the afternoon. 10 to 15 minutes from now would be about lap 20 or so. But yeah, I mean, Michael Schumacher, I get it was an aggressive maneuver, but we were down the inside. We had it slowed down on the apex. And he, you know, at that point, he's got to try and just give us the room. You know, he could have probably got the power down and gone back around our outside. But he was so committed to turning in. And we were lucky that it didn't take us out of the Grand Prix as well. Frentzen, another new fastest lap. Sort of Villeneuve will dive into the pit lane then. But immediately our first lap not stuck in traffic. 7/10 faster as team on us into the pits. That is not going to happen. There we go. Frentzen also into the pit lane then at the end of lap 11. Williams got a big advantage over everybody else still out there running at the moment, as we will find another 0.3 of a second. And now our lap time's pretty much matching those of Heinz Harald. But into the lead we will go then for the first time this afternoon. Now I'm just kind of hoping that the rain will start to fall fairly soon, because the gap to Frentzen still less than 9 seconds. Well, the skies are definitely getting darker here above the Kota circuit, but still Frentzen is taking time out of us at the moment. The gap now down to 7.5 seconds against the German. You can see he's running a 34.8. He's running almost a second a lap faster than what we can do right now. So we need this rain, and we need it very, very soon there. We've got good grip through the S's. It just seems that Frentzen, that Williams car, is just a better all-rounder here, and it is so frustrating that we really don't seem to be able to do anything against it. Oh no! Mark was just about to tell me.
In around 10 to 15 minutes. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Oh no, so team's still not sure when that rain's going to arrive. We will just stay out here until it arrives, and if it doesn't, well, I guess we're going to be boxing on the penultimate lap of the GP. Kimi Räikkönen then, again, is going to be the first car that we lap inside this GP. Oh, a little bit wide there through the penultimate corner. Oh, Kimi, please don't dive bomb me. Thank you very much. Some of you guys have been asking me, you know, the likes of Alonso and Kimi and Juan Pablo Montoya for next season. My plan is to do a bit of a reshuffle again with some of the drivers, of course, to try and, you know, some of the big names of the early 2000s to get them into seats that they deserve. But I do still like to run a different timeline to IRL. I don't want it all just to be identical. No! No! Fernando Alonso! What was that? He's just completely crashed into me. And we got a safety car late on in the day then. I mean, we cleared him, and then he just put his foot back down. Well, team reckon there is going to be rain pretty much any time now. This might be the biggest gamble I make inside this game. But into the pit lane will come. The rain hasn't even started yet. But we're going to have to try and make the switch over to the intermediate tyres here and just pray that the rain starts falling. Come on, let's just get out there again. And, I mean, we've just got to do a rain dance now. There's not a lot else we can do. We're going to lose the World Championship if we don't try and throw something different at this at the end of the GP. Alonso has no idea what he's potentially just changed up in this World Championship. There is no grip on these tyres in the dry. Please start raining. There we go. There we go. The rain. The rain is here finally. I've just got to hope it's heavy enough over these next few laps. But that is fantastic news for us. Well, 5 laps to go then here from Texas. And now the intermediates, I mean, they're still not looking potentially like the tyre to be on. What's the team saying?
For at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Oh no, they still think dries are going to be the way to go towards the end of this. But can we prove the game and everybody else wrong? We are the only car out here on intermediates. Frentzen might be 5 laps away from winning the Formula 1 World Championship. And look at that through the final corner. We have got nothing against those Williams cars. Here comes David Coulthard, potentially for what I think might well be his first podium of the year. And up then into 3rd place for the McLaren man as we just try not to slide around too much through the first couple of corners. I mean, it's just, we have not got enough in this car at the moment. Danica Patrick will get past us. Oh, I think one of the, that was Jenson Button, almost went into the back of me as we make our way in through the S's here. But unless it just starts raining a whole lot more, I don't think this is going to work for us there. Wirtz now makes his way through and up into P6. We got yellows out, though. Someone, that might be us that's causing those yellow flags. No, there's a car going slow in front. Is that just Raikkonen trying to get out of the way? I think it is. Oh, Jarno Trulli there down the inside. Zob Baumgartner, Mark Genet, everybody is trying to go past us at the moment. I mean, it says everything you need to know. We can't even keep up with Kimi Raikkonen in a Minardi here. As Barrichello now will make his way around Zob Baumgartner as well. Potentially having a look to the inside in towards the next corner. Anthony Davidson goes around our outside as well. And although the grip is definitely getting there, it is still definitely not enough at the moment. We basically need the AI to box for intermediates before the end of the GP. Fisichella goes past us. Montoya now as well, trying to look down the inside. Oh, in towards the final couple of corners. I tell you what, they're definitely getting closer and closer to that switch then, as drifting our way around the final turn. There goes Ralf Schumacher as well then. So we are now only ahead of Kimi Raikkonen in this GP. The rear tyres are absolutely cooked. Oh, we've just got to pray that it just gets worse and worse this rain. We had to throw a gamble out there, but it might be an agonising way to lose a Formula 1 World Championship. Well, about to start the last lap then of this Grand Prix, and annoyingly, I mean, we've stuck at it. We've had to try and stick at it towards the end of this one, and it finally actually looks like the pace is starting to come back to us here, but I can't help but feel it's probably going to be a little bit too little, too late here. I knew we had to try and throw something different at it. I knew we had to gamble the other way against those Williams cars if I wanted any shot, but I think Frentzen now, honestly, could dive in, bolt on a set of intermediates, come back out, and still be ahead of us here as we start the last lap of the US Grand Prix. Now, it has just turned into how many spots could we potentially recover by the end of this. Just not enough left at the end of the afternoon to make this worthwhile for us there, but we are now definitely going quicker than the AI as well. DRS has been disabled, but it is just too little too late in this Grand Prix. I mean, I'd love to just be able to get back to the points. I would love to try and keep our podium streak alive, but I don't think either of those things are going to happen here on the last lap of the GP, as Kimi Raikkonen, he's going to be a lap down on everybody then in this Grand Prix. They're admittedly a little bit unlucky with the timing of the safety car. But Heinz-Harald Frentzen, though, I mean, fair play to him. He came into this season as a little bit of an outsider, but he has just found an all-new level behind the wheel of that Williams Formula 1 car there. Villeneuve, I thought, was going to be the big championship threat this campaign, but ultimately the German has stepped up and will become... I mean, how many different world champions have we seen across kind of this timeline and beforehand? I genuinely don't think we've seen a repeat world champion since Michael Schumacher in 94 and 1995. But making our way in towards the final few corners, though. Oh, contact with Takuma Sato there in the Jordan. Frentzen is going to win the US Grand Prix, and in doing so will become a new Formula 1 world champion. Williams back on top yet again here. Through the final corners, can we try and jump Ralf Schumacher again in towards this final turn? We'll go for it on the young German there. Given another couple of laps, we could have had the victory today, but I think either way, it was not going to keep us in the championship. P15 here at Texas.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Well, there we are then. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, pole position, fastest lap, race victory. You know, he can't complain with that, can he? And what a way to win your first Formula 1 World Championship. Jacques Villeneuve in P2 there ahead of David Coulthard, who I believe that's McLaren's first podium of the year. Danica Patrick in 4th ahead of both Renaults there. Jarno Trulli, Marc Genet, Zolt Baumgartner and Rubens Barrichello will round out your top 10 at the end of the afternoon. Just Alonso and Schumacher, they both failed to see the checkered flag when all is said and done. Championship standings, though, you can see a 60-point lead for Frentzen at the top of the table, so it's at the end of the day actually going to look like quite a dominant campaign by him. Luckily, though, we have mathematically wrapped ourselves up P2, so we have nothing to gain, nothing to lose as we head to Brazil there. With that result, Coulthard now back ahead of Anthony Davidson. Danica Patrick just 10 points back behind the pair of them there, and Jenson Button just a further 9 points behind her. And you can see there Jarno Trulli and Marc Genet rounding out your top 10 at the moment. Constructors-wise, McLaren now tied there with Sauber as well. Renault continuing their march back up the order. And I tell you what, BAR, they were best of the rest so long this season, and they might end up finishing all the way down in P6 as well. Thank you all so much for watching, though. Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed. Not quite the end of the season we would have wanted, but Williams, they have just been the quicker team this year. Faultless from Frentzen as well. We will still head out to Brazil for the season finale. But yeah, thank you all as always, and we'll be back very soon with more Formula 1 content.